For Panthers Fans Only is a sports podcast intended for mature audiences and contains profanity as well as extremely spirited conversation. What you see and hear are the sole opinions and depictions of each individual, not at all inclusive of the entire cast or any guests associated with our show. Thanks for tuning in, and always remember to stand on business.
That snare so cold in this shit. I was listening to that earlier when you said it.
Hey, tell me who that nigga if it ain't me. If it ain't a party, then it's finna be.
That's how Dan Morgan walked out the
Never
draft
had
room
a
feeling.
problem that I couldn't solve. It must be official if I get involved. Quarter pound of fire burning daily. Harder to remember, getting harder to remember.
Welcome to Four Panthers Fans Only.
Enough to drive me crazy. I don't think my mama's gonna save me.
These headphones are an atrocity. I don't know how you survive this and all this shit. These shits are terrible, bro.
The beats weren't gonna work today
2 miles an hour,
What you
can you
mean?
picture me roll?
because you wouldn't have been able to use them other headphones anyway. Cord don't reach.
Yeah, I gotta get an extender or something. These shits are terrible. But I mean, we're listening to what, like 2 songs?
Oh, the quality's messed up too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just horrible.
I'm rocking over here.
So, but I would be wrong if I got them and took those and then brought them over here or what?
How the fuck would
You
you
wouldn't be able
connect?
to hear shit.
I would switch them over. I would bring this
Pardon me while
over here,
I
right beside me, out of the shop.
That would just be way too much over fucking headphones.
Very simple. Welcome. Apologies for not informing y'all earlier that we weren't recording last week, celebrating the holiday, Memorial Day, right? That's what holiday it was.
Yep.
Yeah. So my apologies. That's totally on me. I should have let you guys know before. But hey, we're back. Welcome. A lot of Carolina Panthers content to go through. A lot of things just to go over. It's going to be a phenomenal episode. We're going to touch on the blueprint a little bit. Came out last night or yesterday evening, however you want to look at it. First week of OTAs was last week as well. So going to touch on that a little bit. And yeah, welcome to Four Panthers Fans Only. This is probably the greatest show on the planet, transparently, I'd say. Or that's too far.
I guess it's good to be confident, right? If you feel that way, I
obviously,
respect it.
The blueprint didn't feel that way, right? I guess we're pussy to them.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to everybody that was on there, though, right?
Nah, for sure. Shout out Doug. Shout out Rashad. Shout out everybody else. I mean, I only caught those 2. So if anybody else made it, shout out to y'all. Very well deserved. I mean, this content game ain't easy, bro. This game ain't easy at all. Why are you smiling so hard behind the camera, nigga? You alright?
Because I just have some thoughts, but it would further push us off the blueprint. So,
Yeah. Okay. Keep those to yourself if you don't mind, just for the time being.
Maybe we'll be on the next one. It's a couple more that's dropping.
Maybe. Welcome to Four Panthers Fans Only. If you haven't already or you're not familiar with us, make sure to tap in with us on social media at Four Panthers Fans Only on Instagram and TikTok, at FPFO_podcast on Twitter. You can find us fourpanthersfansonly.com. That's the home base. Couple of Reaper t-shirts still remaining. I believe we have 3 mediums and maybe 1 3X left. I don't know if we even have. I think we have 1XL, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you haven't had the opportunity to buy your Reaper shirt and you're one of those 3 sizes, highly encourage you to visit us at ForPanthersFansOnly.com right now and go purchase that. Also, if you haven't had the opportunity yet to do so, make sure to visit ForPanthersFansOnly.com, click giveaways, click on FPFO Road Game Experience, and make sure you follow all the steps. Get 4 or 5 entries, round trip flight for you plus 1, game tickets for you plus 1, as well as hotel stay for you plus 1. Going to be a phenomenal time. We've been doing some scheming. Myself, Terrence, Rod, we've been doing some studying, some research, some planning, making sure that it's going to be a phenomenal weekend. And transparently, anytime you get anything G2S related together, specifically out of town and on the road, it's a movie. It's a movie. If you're not familiar with what we did last year, go check out our game day vlogs on the playlist at the G2S Network. And if you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button at the G2S Network on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. But go visit that playlist and go take a look at our road game experience that we had last year in Las Vegas. Absolute movie. I was telling my cousin the other night, like, probably one of the best days of my life. Like, honestly, like, definitely without question top 5. Without a doubt. And that's just being generous to, like, family occurrences and shit like that. But just know I'm almost willing to say top 3. And we plan on making a lot more for sure. So go do that right now. And yeah, that's all I have for plugs this week. I think that was relatively good. Can you please set a timer on your phone for 90 minutes?
And can you turn my headphones up?
It's probably. Oh, you need to go to. My bad. Get it right, producer man. Get it right.
I think I'm in 2.
Yeah, it's up as high as it'll go.
Really? That's new. That's new for him. You been listening to louder music, louder audio in your life? Or
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts.
Oh, okay. True. Well, welcome in. What do you have? You look like you had something to say.
No, I was just going to say, you said an hour and a half.
Yeah, let's do 100 minutes. Just to be safe. Let's do 100 minutes. I think that's reasonable. That's a reasonable amount of time. Shout out to Sir. Different vibe. Actually, shout out to you for making that song request. We're saying that it was fitting. I think last Thursday I was able to go check out a Sir show in Raleigh. Very, very talented, bro. And he's one of those people that, like, if you know him, you know him. If you don't, you don't. A very, very cultish following. But yeah, shout out to Sir. Phenomenal performer, I will say that. Bro, it's so crazy. It's not a lot of people. Do you know who Todd Tribbett is? The gospel artist?
Yeah, I've heard his name before, yeah.
Bro, he is crazy. Me and my parents, his performance ability. Because now, like, bro, I'm not going to hold you. Like, that's probably one of the craziest shows that I've been to was his show. Like.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was very, very surprised about that shit. But, like, artistic ability, performance, like, he be playing different instruments and shit like that. But I say all of that to say, like, Sir is very, very high on my list. And also going to this show as well. I think, let me see. So the last show that I went to was Dreamville Fest. And then before that, I think it was Todd Tribbett, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, what I've gathered over the years of my concert-going experiences is that these rap niggas really can't perform that well. I'm not going to hold you. Like, Chance the Rapper, very, very talented performance-wise. Other than that, not a lot of niggas can perform that well. Like, even Kendrick, when I went and seen him on the Damn Tour, like, I don't know if it was because it was his, like, first major, like, him headlining, but even the Damn Tour, like, it was cool, but it was just like, I mean, performance-wise, not so much.
I feel like it's a lot harder to perform when you're rapping versus when you're, like, singing, though. I will say, like, I feel like
to a certain degree, but it's like a lot of things for me that I'm like looking at. Like, if you have a live band off rip, you're already going up for me. Sir had a live band. I think he had drummer, electric guitar, bass, and then like 3 or 4 backup singers. But like that for me already is just gonna like go higher. Like when we go to that Jessie show in July, I pray to God I'm not hearing backtrack. I don't want to hear backtrack.
I wouldn't imagine she would do that though.
I don't think so either. I watched her. I actually watched her Tiny Desk like 2 or 3 nights ago, and she had a live band there with like a couple of different singers and stuff like that. So I'm like, my expectations are extremely high for her in July. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a good one. I feel like Tori would be a really good performer live.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have the live band though, because it's hard.
I
bro.
think he would though. Like he definitely seems like the type, because like that. No, it wasn't Tiny Band, but like the similar version when he did the live
joint.
Yeah.
Well, did he have a live band on that one?
Yeah, that was crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I fell in love with that album, was because of you, bro. Like no cap, when you play that shit, we were in Clayfire. You were like, bro, have you seen this? Man, you put that shit on that. Yeah, he's different. Tory hard, bro. Tory hard. Free Tory.
Should be out soon.
Yeah, free. Not for sure. Not for sure. No better way to start off FPFO than a little, misogyny. Misogyny. Just a little.
Is it though? If he's innocent, it's not really misogynistic. Just let my nigga out. He ain't do shit.
Touche. That was Tavian York going, not me. But yeah. So that was dope, and that was like something random. I went to that show on Thursday. Didn't decide to go until Wednesday. Crazy enough, like I think I was looking at the ticket prices for like a month and a half or 2 months prior, because this show got pushed back like maybe a year and a half. Like he just kept canceling and having to reschedule for different reasons. And then it finally happened. They were like $150 like a month and a half ago. And I was just like, no. I mean, I love Sir. He's great, phenomenal talent, but he's not 100. For me personally, he's not $150.
150 is crazy.
Yeah, for the rich.
Well, how much did you pay for Youngboy?
They don't fucking compare. I only pay like 2 songs.
You got Youngboy tickets?
Yeah.
Where is he going to be at?
Well, he just announced new tour dates, but I'm going to the show in D.C. But he's also coming to Raleigh and Charlotte.
Are you thinking about selling your D.C. tickets?
Probably not.
Okay.
But depending on, because they were saying that he might have a different track list throughout a various of different shows. So I would say depending on, like, if the track list is different from the DC track list, then I'll probably still go to either the Charlotte or the Raleigh show.
Facts. And you say you pay how much for those?
Like 2 something.
Okay.
And it's like a section or 2 off from like the stage.
Gotcha.
Like it's like diagonal from the stage, like the first section diagonal from the stage. So it's pretty close.
So if you're trying to line him up, y'all know where he gonna be on the DC tour date.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you say? I'm in fear for my life?
Yeah, I'm in fear for my life. I'm scared.
Yeah. I think the next show that I'm headed to, Jessie, July 9th. And then after that, in August, Breezy Bowl. He got free. Only had. Is this nigga serious? Is it?
What do you say?
Clear my throat. My apologies. I don't have my boom shit. You know what I'm talking about? That's why. Yeah, bro. I was feeling for my shit earlier. I was like, damn, because I woke up a little congested this morning because had baseball all weekend, and when I get like that, it's just.
I feel like with that boomstick, you'll find any kind of way to be congested.
Maybe you're not wrong. We all have our vices, right?
Some different from others.
Right.
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad.
Right, bro. I mean, yeah.
Might as well level up at that point.
No comment. But yeah, so that's what's on.
Like to get down.
Stephon, I mean, what can you prove? He handed it a baggie. We have no idea what was in it.
THC gummies.
Yeah, exactly.
That would
nothing crazy.
I didn't know they came in a powder form.
Yeah, powder.
Yeah,
powder.
Yeah.
Pour it in your water.
True.
Take a little shot of it.
They make some of anything nowadays. I'm sure it comes in a powder form.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Pack of Fun Dip.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
I did hear pink cocaine was the new drug down in Miami. So
I heard that as well.
Yeah, I was also looking at some stuff. They was like, they don't think you can physically perform football activities off of that.
I don't think that he was doing it.
Yeah.
If that was what it was, I mean, because we're all moving off the presumption that that's what it was. I don't think that's what it was. And if it was for the hoes. I mean, you seen what he did with it.
What's my name?
yeah. I mean, yeah, that nigga. Oh my God, that Vikings video just makes so much more sense. Now.
Oh, bro,
so much more sense. So much more sense.
I was
Everybody
telling
said
somebody
that
shit
nigga.
the other day.
Yeah, everybody said Stephon.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah,
Keep him
absolutely.
away.
And
I'm
then
a great guy.
Yeah, then 2 or 3 days later, Cardi's still going crazy on the yacht for him. So I mean, you know, what can you do with a pimp? Kiss the ring, that's it, and move on about your day. Like no cap.
I know Offset is shit.
Oh, he's punching the air. He's punching the air.
That's why he trying to get that money off of it.
Yeah, on God. And I seen him drop a video too. I guess it was a trailer for his album or whatever, and he had like 5 or 6, you know, going crazy. Too. But you can just see it in his eyes. You would have to be there to know, but you can just see it in his eyes. Yeah, it hurts.
Because having 5 or 6 like randoms going crazy versus 5 or 6 plus your baby mama still going crazy.
Ex-wife too.
Yeah,
that's.
I guess she probably moved on a little too quick for him.
I mean, not really. It's been like 2 or 3 years, right?
But apparently he was cheating the whole time, from what she said.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'd be hard pressed to believe that Stephon ain't doing the same thing. Is she giving him a little bit more?
Because that's probably because she already know what time it is with him.
I think he
be on shit. Bro,
he just had another baby that was born by an Instagram model.
Who, Stephon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, niggas know Stephon outside. You seen what his whole team said, and then Cardi ain't the first one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, niggas got your bitch outside. That's on you. That's on you. Should have stayed loyal.
And he got more money than him.
Yeah, and he got way more chocho than him. I was having that conversation the other day.
Stephon
got more chocho than
Offset.
Yes,
Man,
for real.
Offset,
Bro, do you know, like, the thing compared to, like, athletes compared to, like, rapper contracts? Them athletes, like, one of their contracts is just, like.
See, I had just assumed because of the royalties, especially with, like, Migos and shit. Like, I felt like they would have been up.
What royalties? Niggas don't own their music, nigga.
That's true, QC, right?
Yeah, that's all P. That's all P and Q, nigga.
So he really
and Coach
shit.
K. Yeah, no.
I mean, he probably got some bread, but not. I don't think it compares to Stephon's.
Yeah, because this is the thing. Like I said, we had this conversation the other day. Think about this. I mean, even if he was getting royalties, that shit still getting bust down 3 ways.
Yeah, but that shit goes for a lot longer than football money. This is Stephon's last contract.
Not really.
This is Stephon's last contract.
It all depends on how you manage it.
Them niggas was not getting to that chocho like that. They were just happy to be outside. Migos, when they were popping, yeah. And, I mean, realistically, how much money are you making off of a mixtape? Like, honestly.
Yeah.
From 14, 15, when them niggas pop, but then culture. But at the same time, again, like, that shit is getting bust down, bro. We had that, me, Rod, and I think Marion had that conversation the other day. Like, yeah, it's quiet for Set, nigga. That's why he keep dropping these projects. And they not doing nothing. It's hard, nigga. When you 3, and you not even really the most marketable out of the 3, because I will argue that Quavo was the most marketable.
Yeah.
Takeoff added the most to the group, in my opinion, just because he's the one that even invented the whole shit. Now, pure rapping ability, I would say Offset was the best Migo. But as far as, like, rapping, niggas don't really care about rapping that much. Niggas don't care about bars that much no more. Like, and it's hard to, if you don't got one of them ones that's on TikTok, it's hard to do shit.
Yeah,
right
and
now. It's quiet.
It's hard to go from a group like that and then just go dolo.
Yeah, 1,000%. But shout out Offset. Hope he's doing well. Maybe next time he will, approach the situation a little bit different. But shout out to everybody involved. We know nothing. It's all alleged. All alleged. How are y'all doing? How's everybody feeling? Had the week off. Everybody good? Feeling recovered?
Yeah.
Refreshed?
Chilling. Went to Charlotte. That was fun. Spent some time down there. Had to get a new phone. Phone fucked off, of course.
They hit that switch on you?
Always at them. Who? Huh?
Apple hit that switch on you?
Yeah. They cut my water off. Phone stopped connecting to Wi-Fi. Started dying quick. I was like, oh yeah. I didn't even realize how low my speaker was on my old phone until I got a new one. Like, every time I talked to someone, I would have to put them on speakerphone because I couldn't really hear. So it's like, it was bad. But, yeah, other than that, I'm chilling. Everything's going well at work, vibing, going into the summertime. So, you know.
It's almost that time.
Yeah.
It's almost outside time. It's almost outside time.
It's been outside time for me the last couple of weeks, I'll be honest. It's about to be go back inside time for a little bit.
It sounded like you did that shit ass backwards. It's when you supposed to go into hibernation the past 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, well, one thing led to another, and we was outside. But Charlotte, I was also in Charlotte. Shout out to Kenny. Stay with one of our boys from back back in school, and it was a good time, man. Had a little adult field day, playing a variety of games, drinking, cooking. It was a good time.
Sure.
This past weekend definitely was inside, chilling. Took it easy. Needed to recover. Has been up until about 4 a.m. the last 3 weekends in a row. Drinking.
Yeah. Even on weeknights, it was. We just picked up poker, so I mean, we was playing even on the weeknights, and it just. I mean,
y'all get y'all pockets ran or what?
Fuck no,
not really. No.
But y'all playing for money?
Only like one time we played for money, but everybody's still learning basically, so
yeah.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
So y'all still need like a couple more months before we take you to the big house.
I would say personally, I just need maybe a week or two, and I'll be ready.
That's how niggas leave out that bitch with only they draws on their body, with that kind of mentality.
Or with everything y'all bring me.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's only 1 or 2 ways I go about it.
Fair enough. Let me see. Okay, I mean, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. How much? Where are we at on time? I'm gonna try. We'll see what we can do.
An hour and 30. We got an hour and a half.
Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. The blueprint. So, of course, the Carolina Panthers dropped their teaser/trailer last week on all social media platforms, teasing the blueprint. This became a thing, like 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's not that old.
No, not that old at all. Still relatively new. The Carolina Panthers last night released the first episode of this particular season, going over draft night and just showing some ins and outs of how things were going and showing some behind the scenes. So we're just going to kind of give some of our immediate reactions because actually we literally just watched it probably like an hour or so after the preview of it on YouTube. So just real quick, I mean, anything that stood out to you guys, anything that surprised you all, et cetera, and then we'll also kind of tie in the article that dropped as well. And I don't even know who wrote that article. I believe Cassidy Hill contributed to it a little bit, but I don't know. But we'll go through the article, the Inside the Draft Room article that the Carolina Panthers released as well. But anything that, kind of surprised you guys, any instant reactions, whatever, share your thoughts.
I think like it was cool to see that everybody was like on the same page about everything, and it was kind of like it was going to take a lot for other teams to kind of push them out of like their initial plan. And I think that was nice to see. Also, I was just interested in seeing them like crunch the numbers, like going over like the probabilities of certain guys being there, and actually seeing them rely on the people in the room. I think something else that I said over here and thought about, like if you watched it closely, Dan Morgan was making a lot of those decisions. Like he was headlining, like he was the head of a lot of those decisions, and it kind of went as he went. So I think like going back to think about it, it's like I don't know if every GM, like that's the role that they play when it comes to drafting and when it comes to off-season moves, or if it's just Dan Morgan. But if that is the case, it's just like, wow, I can't believe that Scott Fitter was the GM and making decisions like that. How many years was he here? Since 2018 or something like that?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years, something like that.
Yeah, and so just to see like the product of the team we had during that time frame and to see how we just like went downhill. And if he was at the forefront of that the way Dan Morgan was, then it's just nasty work. Obviously, we don't know what this team is going to look like because they haven't, stepped on the field yet as far as, like, competitively against other teams. But I just feel really good about this draft class and about the way it was constructed inside of the war room and then just throughout the offseason or through last season as well. But I think Brent Tillis said something very interesting. Like, we can do all of this. Like, we can put this on for y'all, and we can, like, crunch these numbers, do our due diligence, and bringing in the guys who we think are the best available, who we think are the best players. But he left off by saying, like, it's on the players. Yeah. At this point, we did our fucking job. Now y'all have to go do y'all's job and not make us look like jackasses. So it might put some pressure on them, but pressure is good. So, I mean, if we feel like we had one of the best drafts and we got the best players available, then hopefully the results will show, depending on what they're working, how they're working.
Yeah, and to kind of touch on one of the points that you made there really quickly, I don't know if Scott was actually making those same type of decisions, because I think a big thing that we harped on when Scott was here is the fact that football people weren't making football decisions. So I do kind of wonder sometimes how much of a step back Dave Tepper has taken from that time, since we don't have the blueprints the same way that we do now with those bird's eye view into the war room. But I do think it was very interesting how, what is the guy that was sitting to the left?
Brant Tillis.
Brant Tillis. I thought it was very interesting how Brant was like, oh, I really want to make some moves. Like, it was like, I don't really care what we do. I just want to do something. Like,
yeah,
I thought
very eager.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and like seeing how, everybody else kind of kept him in place. But that's a good, like, you'd rather pull him back than make him, want to go seek out an opportunity. So I thought that was interesting. And I thought another thing was interesting was just having that confirmation that we all left the draft feeling like the organization was all on one accord and in lockstep in making these picks. And I do think that was reflected in the blueprint. It did seem like everybody was on board with majority of all the guys that they picked. They got their guys that they were looking for in the spots that they were looking for them in. We finally got to look behind the curtain as to the thinking behind ETN. Apparently he was pretty high on their board, even though we didn't feel that way, but they felt like that's their guy and he's going to bring value. Specifically, like they said, special teams value. They did mention his ability to return. So that'll be a conversation for later on in the summer when it comes to roster cutdowns. But I do think it was interesting. I also just wonder, and this is just me, the skeptic in me, I do wonder how many of these guys were truly, like, their guys. Like, how many times did they have to edit out for a player that they were looking for originally and then be like, okay, nah, actually this is our guy. And now it looks like that was truly their guy, but there was another player that they might have been pursuing. So that there's the skeptic in me of that from just the editing, the media team. But
yeah, of course.
Yeah, but for the most part, I think it was very confirmation of what we pretty much knew.
Yeah, and then just to touch, before you go, just to touch back on the situation with Scott Fitter and Dave Tepper. Like, I feel like people don't really, and if you don't know Carolina football, like, people don't really understand how good of a player Dan Morgan was. So it's, like, kind of hard for a guy like Dave Tepper to be, like, to try to overstep him because he's actually played the game at the highest level and was very successful at the highest level, which Scott Fitter was not. So it's probably a little easier for Dave Tepper to kind of run over him and be like, nah, I think we should do this, or I like this a little bit better. So that's something interesting to think about as well.
Yeah, and I think off of that, it's a lot better when you have somebody like that in that position. But I will say I felt like just off of the, what we were able to see, I feel like that spirit of collaboration that I always talk about on this podcast was very, very apparent. Because even though you can feel and you can, sense that Dan Morgan is at the head of what's going on, I feel like there was still a lot of great conversations being had with, Dave, Dan, and Brent. Honestly, I was going to come on here and shit on Brent Tillis just because the way I read the article, but, the blueprint presented it in a different way. So I'm not going to do that. I actually love the relationship that Dan Morgan and Brent have. And one of the very, very interesting things that Dan Morgan said that I kind of got off of the article as well was the fact that, like, it's good not having yes men around you because they challenge you and make you, have to prove that you're making the right decision for the organization by supporting that with your conviction and with the numbers and everything in between. So I love the role that Brent Tillis played in this whole process. And, of course, I was telling the guys while we were watching it, if you guys ever seen Moneyball, their relationship seems very, very similar to the one that's portrayed in Moneyball with Jonah Hill and I think it's Brad Pitt, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Now I got to check. I'm sorry. ADHD, I guess, maybe. Or maybe not.
I think it is Brad Pitt.
I think it is Brad Pitt as well. I just want to be sure.
Then it's not gonna be Brad Pitt, and we're gonna sound like some jackasses.
Maybe. Just like I was like hellbound on the fact that old girl was dead. Cassie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, it was Brad Pitt. Good job, Jeremy. But yeah, their relationship reminds me a lot of the relationship that was portrayed on that movie, in that movie specifically. And I like it. I like it honestly because, like we said, it speaks to the collaboration that's going on. And I feel like when you get a lot of great brains and great minds together to come up with ultimately the best decision, that's a lot better than you just having one guy, right, making these tough decisions. And if you guys are familiar with Carolina football, specifically over the last 5 or 6 years, once Scott Fitterer was let go, fired, however you want to word it, the report started coming out that like there was not a lot of cohesion within the front office at all. And there was a time or another that I read an article where they were discussing Scott Fitterer's approach to the draft, and they mentioned how they would have these collaborative sessions, these thought process meetings, or whatever the case may be, and then Scott Fitterer would just come in the war room and just make a totally different decision than what was discussed before because he had a gut feeling or whatever the case may be. I don't get that at all from this front office. Now, speaking of Tavian's point, I do believe that there's the editing and the production tricks of everything. Like, I do think that to a certain degree, obviously, you're putting on a production that you want to make your front office or whatever the case may be look like the best in the NFL, right? And look like they're competent, whatever the case may be. So I do know for a fact there was some cutting and editing on some of those interactions. However, I do believe that for the overwhelming majority, I would say 95% of the picks that we got, it seems as though like these really were our guys. Now, obviously, when you have a board, you're going to rank players and you're going to say, well, if this guy is gone, then we'll go here, whatever the case may be. But if those guys are on your board, then they're still your guys, in my opinion. So I think that everybody was happy, with the way things were going. Or with the way things went. So that's definitely great to see. And I love the fact that there's a plan in place. I love the fact that there was a plan in place. Pre-Dan Morgan, that just simply was not the case. The Carolina Panthers have structured themselves to be this developmental organization where there is currently a youth movement within that building, and we're bringing in guys that we can mold and shape into guys that we know we want to roll out on Sunday afternoons because this is what we believe will work. And the fact that everybody is bought in on that and the fact that it's abundantly clear that that's what's going on, I personally love it.
I also, something that I forgot to mention, I also thought it was interesting when they were going over about to draft the edges, and they led with, specifically about Nick. They're like, yeah, he can be a starter day one opposite of Pat Jones.
Yeah.
So, like, one.
Or did they say behind?
No, they said that he would be behind Pat Jones, but he could be a starter.
Starter, yeah. Which, I mean, I don't think that for me personally, and I'll come right back to you, for me personally, you shouldn't even have drafted a guy that you didn't believe could have had the ability to be a starter on this defense. Right. So, but back to you.
Yeah, like, one, ill. And two, I think that was all a clear indication that Jadeveon Clowney was not a part of this team's plans like months ago. Way before they cut
I'm glad you caught that. That's actually a phenomenal point. That's a phenomenal point because Jadeveon didn't get released until after. Mm-hmm. That's a phenomenal point because that was something that we brought up. And a lot of the comments were acting like we were tweaking, right? We had the conversation during the live stream with Dunk as well. But then we came on FPFO and we talked about it a little bit more in depth about the potential and possibility of Jadeveon Clowney no longer being with this organization. And that was something that a lot of fans were kind of like, it doesn't seem realistic. But like you just mentioned, it seemed like that was, a possibility and has been the thought process within the front office for quite some time.
And apparently Jadeveon knew it too because on his way out, he said, like, I wish they would have told me months ago because I already knew. Yeah, basically.
Could feel it. He said once he got the, I believe it was, whatever comes before rookie.
The voluntary offseason.
Yes. He said once he got there, the vibe was already one as if he was out the door. So Yeah, it seems like that decision was made quite some time ago. And shout out to Dunk and Low for even bringing that shit up, because they made me think about that completely different as well. Which, once that happened, I was just kind of fixated on it and was just like, this kind of makes too much sense not to be the case. Actually, you save the money, get the older guy out, throw your younger guys in the fire, and let them roll with it. Just off of that, since we're talking about the edge room and discussing that right now, we can kind of transition and head over to OTAs and just some of the news that we got. Like I said, with us being in the edge room, the first thing for me, DJ Wanham, not participating in OTAs. I think they said he was working off to the side. That's alarming for me. I'm just going to go ahead and – there was a couple of things that were quite alarming to me with some of the news that came out. The DJ Wanham thing, listen, I'm big on throw your young guys out there, see if you have a dog or not. I was having a conversation with multiple Carolina Panther content creators probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it was teetering or focused on the conversation that we've continuously had on this podcast this all season about Adam Thielen, right? Now, I'm not going to go into detail because I've taken enough abuse from the comments as well as that group chat in particular. Dylan, I mean, if only y'all could see the shit he be saying to us in the group chat about even having the thought process that it could even be a potential of it happening. So I'm not going to –
on your bumper.
Yeah, nah, for sure. So I'm not going to go into detail on that. But I am a huge proponent for throwing your young guys out there. However, like if they're not ready and they just can't get the job done, then you need to have a backup plan, quote-unquote backup plan. And DJ Wanham being hurt, it's alarming to me. Now, it is very, very early. It's June. So we're not going to go too crazy, too deep. Tommy Tremble, completely different situation. And we're going to have a very serious conversation about that here in a second as well. Did you want to press the button, bro? Like,
I couldn't remember which way it was.
You should have just tried it like you did last week.
God damn it!
No, literally. But, yeah, like, so how do you guys feel about the DJ Wanham news? Now, like I said, Dave Canales said it wasn't that big of a deal. It was more precautionary, whatever the case may be. For me personally, this is something that, if I'm not mistaken, he was dealing with last year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It seems like that same pre-existing injury, which is a little alarming because it's like he missed half of the season last year because apparently we didn't do our due diligence, I don't think, when we got him from Minnesota, knowing that, he had this big of an injury and that the rehab was going to take that long. But then, like, it's a little alarming that, he's still dealing with that. But, I mean, the only thing I will say is it just is another testament of how bad that training staff was, in my opinion. Yep. Because he had that same exact training staff last year. They just got rid of him, like, when the season ended. So, who knows? It could have been something that could have been fixed throughout last year, but they just didn't take care of it how they were supposed to. And, I mean, you're not able to rehab from injuries during the season, not when you're continuing to play on this pre-existing injury. You're not getting better in any kind of way. So hopefully throughout the offseason, he's able to go ahead and get out in front of it, and then he'll be ready to go by training camp, and then it won't be a problem. But that makes me happy that we did go and get 2 edge rushers because, like, they might be needed way earlier than what we thought. It seems like Pat Jones is probably going to be a starter. And I was assuming that DJ Wanham will be opposite. But, I mean, now that could be Nick Scorton or it could be Princely. We just don't know at this point. But hopefully by training camp we have a better idea and DJ Wanham is healthy. And then we can kind of, rotate the rookies in and kind of, be a little development piece for them throughout the season. And then one of them turn into a starter. But definitely wasn't expecting one of them to be a starter day one. But, that might be the hand we're dealt. We might have to roll with it.
Yeah, for sure.
People just got to grow up quick.
Nah, for sure. And to be honest, I don't even know how I feel about Pat Jones starting. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and rip the band. I'm not. Listen, I'm not today. Today, I'm just not in the mood for us like to bullshit around, right? So I don't. I personally, when and I was gassing them up like halfway trolling when EJ comes on the screen. You know, I'm on my typical bullshit. I'm like, you know, Uncle E. And then the first thing out of his mouth is that Pat Jones is going to be a starter. And I just feel both of these niggas just start looking at me like that's the first thing he says.
Well,
and
you should have came to terms with that when you were happy that Jadeveon got released. Because that damn near almost cemented it that he would be starting. Because who else was going to be starting on the other side of DJ Wanham?
One of these rookies.
I mean,
honest,
you paid the guy $20 million, right?
Who?
Didn't they pay Pat? How much did they pay Pat Jones?
It was close.
So, I mean, it's like...
Speaking fact, but yeah, something close.
You went and got him in the offseason, so to me, that was kind of the train of thought. And it, especially when they released Jadeveon, it's like, all right, it's clear that he's going to be the starter.
Yeah, and I think going to the point specifically about
2 years,
DJ
$15
Wanham,
million.
2 years, 15.
Yeah, 2 years, 15.
It's not terrible. But I think this point specifically about DJ Wanham, I find it incredibly alarming because this is 2 off seasons now when you've been here at Carolina and you have not been able to work out or be healthy in either of them. Now, this off season did just start. And when I say workout, I mean workout with the team. Obviously, he was doing shit on the side.
Rehabbing and shit. Was that, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. That Wanham injury, I thought that was a quad injury initially.
I thought it was too. Yeah, quad injury.
Last year? Yeah.
Yeah, last year, right? That's what I thought.
I mean, even if because this, what is it now?
It's a back now.
Yeah. I mean,
so Canales says the back flared up and it was precautionary. That's what Dave Canales said.
And let it be just that. Let it be just precautionary. We are like 100 days away from the start of the season. We're like more like 90 now, but let it be just that. Let it be a precaution. Because if this starts to become a recurring theme, he's got to go.
I mean, well, what is he? 3-year deal?
Yeah, and I mean, this doesn't necessarily fall on DJ Wanham completely. It's just a miss.
Oh no, excuse me. He has a 2-year deal.
Yeah,
so
he does not get re-signed.
He would have to get it done.
If he misses this year, I'm not bringing him back.
Yeah,
and I'll go into next year's draft and draft another fucking edge.
I mean, the Vikings just fleeced the organization really because I mean he knew he had this injury coming in. Like when we first got him, the Vikings knew he had this injury, and I think that we didn't know or they downplayed it to us, and we still went and got him. So it's more so on them. But I mean, like.
Well, that's a deeper, darker conversation.
Well, I was going to say, if I'm not mistaken, when he came in from Minnesota, didn't he have an injury history that followed him already? So, like, you got a guy that has a history with injuries. You get him, he's injured. We have a new the offseason just started, my boy. We're not even padded up. How the fuck is your back flaring up? Are we not stretching properly? Like, I thought we just got rid of the strength and conditioning coaches.
I don't know.
We got a new team.
It's an organizational problem. It's an organizational problem.
I think it's more so of that.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, since you mentioned something that kind of triggered this thought in my brain, and I'm going to push us a little bit further. The Tommy Tremble shit. I don't understand that either. I need an explanation on that because there's no way you're telling me that you went out. Because remember, Tommy Tremble was a free agent, right? He was an unrestricted free agent. He ended up coming back, obviously. But he was an unrestricted free agent during the offseason. So, me personally, I'm confused on how you're bringing the guy back on a multi-year deal, and this nigga has to have back surgery. Something ain't proper in aligning with something. Because last year you talk about DJ Wanham, and he's out for the first 10 weeks of the year, but you still give him what you give him, the 2 for 15. And then this year you bring Tommy Tremble back. And don't get me wrong, I understand and I know that this coaching staff loves Tommy Tremble. And I get that. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you take risks like, nigga, we don't know if you're going to recover from back surgery. And I need to know, honestly, when the injury occurred because there's no timeline on that. That's number one.
Is that not what he got injured with throughout the season last year? Did he not? Or was it like a neck or something?
I mean, I remember he almost died. Chicago.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that was, like, he took a while to recover from that. I'm not sure exactly what it was. It was either a neck or back then. So this seems like something that was, he was nursing throughout the season.
Yeah, and so then again, it would just speak to the ineptitude of the fucking training staff that was previously here, because then I'm just gonna assume, cool, y'all tried to have him rehab it out and do this and that, and it just simply didn't work. So we already knew this was a problem, yet we went out and paid this guy a multi-million-dollar deal. That to me is just like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't.
Well, I mean,
Concussion. Last year was a concussion.
Last year was a concussion, but Terrence is right. He was like he did.
He had a hamstring and a concussion.
Okay, so there it is. So we don't know when this back thing came
Yeah,
up.
I don't know.
Is that correct?
Well, something drastic had to happen for him to have back surgery.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not something that came
That
from
just
him.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then Dave Canales, during his presser, misspoke. So I'm not going to hang him for this, but he misspoke and said that he'll be ready for training camp. And then I don't know if it was a spokesperson for the Carolina Panthers or for Tommy Tremble as an individual, but they immediately came out like 30 minutes afterwards and said, no, he is not going to be ready for training camp. We have a goal of him being ready to go by week 1. So we don't even know when this is going to occur, because the last time I heard a nigga was going to be ready by training camp and then it got pushed was Jonathan Brooks. And we know how that situation went, right? So just something to keep your eye on if you're a Carolina Panthers fan. That's it. I don't have
DJ
a long
Waddle was
rant.
supposed to be ready by training camp last season too when he came in, and then
that got pushed. That also got pushed.
So yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath, and I think I'm comfortable in the tight end room with JT and Mitchell.
I don't know if
especially
I
with
am.
the receivers that you have.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm just jumping out the window and saying that.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. I'm more comfortable with the starting tight end. I'm more comfortable with Mitch than I am JT. And I say that with all due respect to JT, because I think he can still be a stud, but his development took a huge hit last year after his injury.
It did.
A huge hit. Because after that, he never really got back into the motion and mojo of the game plan, etc. So that was kind of alarming for me personally, because I could see him making progress. He ended up having to start, if I'm not mistaken, the first couple of weeks of the season because of the same thing. Had Ian Thomas and Tommy Tremble both down, so he was thrown kind of into the fire, and that was kind of like a great start.
I don't know if I'm comfortable saying that. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta disagree with you when you said you're more comfortable with Mitch starting, because we haven't seen shit to deem that yet. I mean, we seen what they said in the article. We seen a little couple passes here and there, like you like to say, propaganda. Yes. So I know that JT knows. He probably doesn't know the system, but he's been there a year. So it's like he knows a little bit more than Mitchell at this point. But I will say that I do think that this is a prove-it year for JT. If they're feeling really high on Mitchell and he comes out and he is the player that they're hyping him up to be in OTAs or rookie minicamp, and Tommy Tremble recovers from this back injury, and, they pay him. How many years did they sign him to?
I don't know.
4, 2?
I think it was 2, but let's just make sure.
So if that's
2.
Yeah.
2 for 10.
Yeah, so
2 for 10 and a half, actually.
If that's the case, then I think that this is a big year for JT, and he has to come out swinging, because if not, then this can put him in a very tough situation when it comes a couple years down the line where he's like running out of that rookie deal.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Let me see. I think I had a couple of notes from the 2 different articles. So we'll kind of go through those a little bit. Mitchell Evans was a name that I saw a couple of times during the first week of OTAs. Y'all already know how I feel about him. If you don't, let me re-emphasize this point, because I feel like I'm one of the rare Mitchell Evans truthers within this fan base. So this is a hill that I'm willing to die on. I've done it before with Ian Thomas.
Need a gagging sound on the soundboard.
But I think that this one is going to be a little bit different. My prediction is that I think I said week 10 or 11, Mitchell Evans would be tight end number 1. It may happen sooner. It may happen fucking week 1.
Give it a break.
So that's the only thing I'm going to say. I'm a full Mitchell Evans truther. I think he's going to be a dog. I think that as it pertains to the actual traditional version of a tight end, he fits that mold better than either of the two, any of the guys on the roster outside.
Based on what?
Based on. Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, that kind of plays a part in it as well. So, yes. But at the same time, not necessarily that. But, I mean, you just look at his college film.
Yeah.
I mean, Tommy Tremble didn't have phenomenal run blocking ability out of Notre Dame. When you looked at his film, Jatavion Sanders, it was the same way. I think he's a better run blocker than both of these niggas already. And his hands, I mean, look, the only thing I'm going to tell you is when I saw the reporters live tweeting the live sessions at OTAs, Mitchell Evans' name came up like 3 or 4 times. That's the only thing that I'm saying.
Just want to put a disclaimer out there as well. This is the Mitchell Evans truther was also at one point in time an Ian Thomas truther. So, let's tight end evaluations and
Probably
JJ,
not the best.
let's just take it with a grain of salt. Let's just.
I mean,
And he was an Ian Thomas truther, not like for a year, like not just for one off season, for like 3 consecutive off seasons. So
maybe like 2.
Yeah, that's nasty.
for 3
And
consecutive off seasons.
you say Mitchell Evans is a better pass blocker already than JT and Tommy Tremble. I don't know if I'm ready to give him that because he hasn't been pass blocking NFL guys.
Run blocking. I
NFL
mean,
guys.
Yeah, I'm thinking that he's going to, the first play he's on the field, and it's a run play, I'm convinced he's going to put a nigga's dick in the dirt. That's just how I feel personally. But maybe that's my bias. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just telling you how I feel.
Very biased.
I'm just telling you how I feel personally. That's how I feel that's going to go. And then he's going to get like a little 16, 17-yard touchdown reception. And then by that point, I'll have a jersey. I mean, like very, very simple.
Give it a break, bro.
Speaking of jerseys today, this is when you have an addiction or when you have an obsession, it's best that you would like acknowledge it and attack it head on. Today, I purchased a Robert Hunt jersey. Now, I mean, I literally just got a Chuba Hubbard jersey like last week. It got in, and then today I got a Robert Hunt jersey. It's a problem.
Did you get an XL jersey too?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, because Haley fell through.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
probably for the best. She probably
felt
watched the fucking film and was like, you can wait on this.
No, it's okay. Either way, I'm going to end up with it. But yeah, it's a
That's
problem.
just like an omen.
Maybe.
She fell through, the ball be falling through his hands.
It's fucking nasty.
Just relax.
I mean,
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and say this too. Since y'all think you want to bring this up, I will not tolerate any XL slander. It's very fucking simple. It's very, very simple. And I seen you had a cute, yeah, that's fine, nigga. I seen you had a cute little note in your phone, one of your takeaways. I don't know how you got that.
Would you like to read it? I'd like to hear what the note
it's a little vulgar.
Yeah, I don't know if he can read it fully.
Wait, was that? Let me see.
Yeah. So it stemmed from watching the presser, and I mean, I got to listen to 7 minutes of them ask, like, has he been working on his hands? Like,
Valid question.
What have you been working on throughout the offseason? Hands is all the fucking comments that they were making. And it's just kind of embarrassing and it's nasty that at this point in age, like, we got to teach you how to catch the ball, or you have to learn how to catch the ball with your hands rather than your body, and instill confidence in catching the ball with your hands rather than your body. I just don't want to hear that from a guy who you think will be wide receiver number 1, and who I think a lot of people in the fan base probably think will be wide receiver number 1 starting out. It's just nasty. And then it just all comes full circle when they go and take Tet at 8. Like, and I just think, and I said that since day one, like, if XL did what he was supposed to do last season, then they probably wouldn't went and took Tet at number 8. But, I mean, being that he didn't, then here we have it.
Perfect. Well, I mean, what am I supposed to say to dispute that? Nothing. Just keep doubting him.
I
And
got
this is the
something
thing.
different out of the presser.
What did you get out of the presser?
I mean, yes, I did hear that he worked on his hands a lot, but that's what I got out of it is, like, brother worked on his hands a lot all off season, and then also got that he's viewing this as, like, me and Tet are wide receiver 1. Like, we're both,
Which
gonna
is
be
an
wide
organizational
receiver.
thing.
Yeah.
It's an organizational vantage point.
Is it though? It could be his own perspective too, because it's like if we're both wide receiver one, you can't account for us both, right? Like you're gonna have to take. You can either take one of us away, but you won't be able to take both of us away. So the times that you decide to take him away, I need to make sure my hands are ready because my hands weren't ready. It's acknowledging that his hands were ass last year, which we've been saying, and JJ's been sucking him off saying his hands is all right and he was injured. No, his hands were fucking dog shit. He knew his hands were
Have
dog
I been
shit.
sucking them off?
Yes.
Like, honestly?
Yeah.
Is that really the conclusion that we're coming
Yes.
to?
Yes,
It is.
It is.
Which I will hope that is the case, but it can only be the case if he's actually worked on his hands and they've actually improved.
And if he has, it's going to be a great thing for the
Exactly.
Carolina Panthers because he was, and this is why JJ was sucking him off, because he did get open a lot last year, and this is why we crucified him, because when he was open, he dropped the fucking pass, and he knew that he fucked off, and if he's really working on his hands, and now you know that you have Tet to relieve some of that burden, and all that pressure is not going to be on you as the true alpha, I think that fits Xavier Legette. Xavier Legette seems like very happy-go-lucky. Y'all saw that clip of him at the Carolina Hurricanes playoff game.
Yeah,
like,
he's been
a child.
smaying and
He's a
playing
big
around
kid,
a
bro.
lot.
He's
I will
a very
say,
happy-go-lucky
I will
guy.
say that now that has been pissing me off a little
He
bit.
doesn't-
But
he's not giving me that
I
like,
just- yeah.
dominant alpha outside X.
well, let me just tell you
that I'd like
this.
to see
I just
from
have a very, very, and this is something that I had to deal with internally. This is something that I had to personally deal with internally. I have a problem with seeing niggas laughing and playing and joking around when you just did a bullshit job at your job.
Yeah, he said he cost us some games.
Yeah, that's on me. But I guess that's something that I had to deal with internally because I just need you to damn near be like so obsessed with it that nigga, I personally felt a way seeing him at the Hurricanes game. Now, again, that's something that I had to deal with. But I'm just confused because, nigga, I know that you're supposed to be at OTAs, and I know that the game starts at 8 o'clock, right, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
So that means that you drove 2.5 hours after practice to go to this game that's going to end at 10:30, and then you're going to have to drive 2.5 hours back. You're going to want food.
Let's reiterate. OTAs are voluntary. He doesn't have to be there.
That is true.
He doesn't have to be there at all.
It is just a very, very good thing that I haven't seen a singular report of nobody not being at OTAs.
And maybe they
Because
just
then
didn't want
that's
that
when
to
I
get out.
start. Yeah, that's when I start calling niggas out of their name and shit. And that's something that I had to work on.
But he does not have to be at OTAs.
Yeah.
OTAs are completely
Well,
voluntary. And the NFLPA has fought very hard to make sure that
Shit is not fucking. It's not voluntary.
Well,
But it is.
Okay, cool. Well,
And-
on paper
but
it is.
the thing is, if he wasn't so ass last year, then I would be okay with him, maybe missing a day. But now you can't do that because you didn't give us anything last year. So now I need you to be there every single day. And just watching his presser, this is truly, God honest truth, the best thing that came out of his. Like, they could have cut it off. Like, they could have condensed it down to just him saying this, that Bryce has the same swagger as he did the last few weeks of the season. That's what makes me excited.
I mean, yeah, that's what you want to hear
Other than that,
from your franchise quarter. Like from reports on your franchise quarterback, that's what you want to hear.
yeah.
And I mean, to me, it's been abundantly clear. Even when you listen to Bryce Young, because you know how fascinated
Yeah.
and fixated I get when it comes to press conferences.
He's been a little different this year.
He has.
Speaking with a lot more confidence,
Yes.
joking with the media.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
But when I use that rationale, never mind. I'll talk
When you
about it
use
off
that
camera.
rationale, what?
For what?
To defend Schottenheimer about the press conferences after you made a comment like that, then I'm wrong.
Nigga, we don't give a fuck
I'm
about
just
the
saying.
Cowboys.
I'm just saying.
Like, I hate to tell you, like, nigga,
why I
they
said
don't
we
want to
could
hear
talk-
that bullshit.
That's why I said we could talk about it off camera. But
Okay.
you made me say
yeah,
it. So.
yeah, because I needed to see if it was going to be, like, valid or not. They don't want to hear that shit. They already told me that we're going to have to take that pennant down.
Well,
So
they're
I'm
going to
just
have to
gonna-
pay. Y'all want that shit to come down? Send me money. I'll link my cash app, and that shit will come down once we hit my goal.
That's the only thing I want to tell you. They already asked me multiple times on the YouTube channel, why y'all saying for Panthers fans only? And one of the main things we see in the shot is a Cowboys pennant. And I told
Very
them,
prominent.
it's out of my control. I mean, I guess the alpha in this house is clear.
Nigga, yeah, right.
That's the only thing I'll say. But yeah. So, Terrence had that being one of his notes that XL was a bitch. Actually, that's actually what the note said that he sent me a screenshot of, and it may have been even more vulgar than that. But I think that I'm cleaning it up a little bit because I don't know how he gathered that, but I guess he was mad because he was excited that he got another wide receiver weapon that can potentially lift the burden off of his shoulders a bit. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, he needs it. He needs it because his confidence isn't all the way there yet. That's what he said. He said a lot of that comes from confidence. I just have to have confidence. And then when they asked him about the jug machine, he blew that comment off. Like, he was just like, no, confidence. Okay, cool. Confidence. Or you just have bricks his hands. But either or, I guess.
Speaking of the wide receiver room, based on reports, what, bro? Why are you chuckling already? I'm not even going crazy today. Based on reports, Tedero McMillan got a lot of action throughout the first week of OTAs. And again, we preface all of this by saying, we've said it the last 2 or 3 weeks in a row, but we'll reemphasize it for any new viewers. Don't succumb to the propaganda. So the only thing that we're doing today is just reacting to the reports that, we have access to because we can't go to practice. They've blocked training camp off for us. So now at this point, the only thing we can do is react and respond to the reports that we get from the journalists and the content creators that are on hand. But I will say it's great news that Nalo was involved early. Love to hear it. And I will say that one of y'all said, I think it was you said that I believe XL is going to be wide receiver 1. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. I think Nalo is going to be, I think he is coming in to be and play the role that they promised Deontay Johnson last year, early in the off season. Like, yeah, our primary read is going to be you every time. I think that's Nalo. Yeah, I think that's the reason why you go and draft a guy number 8.
See, I have a different take on it.
But I don't know if he'll live up to that because I believe XL is a 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL.
Well,
I do.
I think they're going to come in and want to establish the run. Like, I
1,000%. Like, that's no question.
Yeah.
There's no question.
So
but
you're
we'll
saying,
talk
like,
about
when
that.
they're doing play call, like pass plays, you think
I'm talking
Nalo's
about
gonna be the
pass
first read?
plays. Yes, I'm talking about pass plays.
'Cause
Because that was
to
the
say-
same, that was the same sentiment that echoed last year.
Running the ball?
Canales, that's all he was talking about was running the ball.
Yeah.
And earlier in the year, that wasn't the case. He was actually abandoning the run a little too early for my liking personally. And we saw that later on in the year as well.
I think a little bit of that could have been trying to preserve the running backs that you had, since you really only had one on the roster at the time, with Jonathan Brooks not being able to come back until halfway through the season. You really had Chube. And then, like, you had Miles Sanders, but I think the organization was pretty much done with Miles at that point. And then Raheem, like, what sort of workload were we giving him? And
You also got blasted the first game of the season, so it's like
that too.
you had to abandon the run if you're trying to play catch up. So it's like,
so there's a few
That nigga
factors
was giving
at
that
play.
bitch up so much. Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Oh, my God.
So I think this year, though, you got your 2,000-yard rushers. You got top 3 offensive line in the league. And now you have 2 dominant receivers on the outside that teams are going to have to respect. It's going to be a lot easier to establish and stay committed to the run game this year and take your shots as you can. And I feel like if that's the case, if we're talking shot plays, I think XL is number 1 because he's probably the fastest receiver on the team.
For one, he's not faster than Jimmy Horn.
I mean, Jimmy Horn's not running fucking 9 routes on the outside, though, is he?
No.
I don't necessarily know with shot play. I mean, I think it could go either way. Like, I think XL would get the corner out of the break, but like, I mean, if you want to talk about a shot play, like throwing the ball up downfield, give me Nalo.
To Nalo.
Yes.
Throw the bitch up to Nalo.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, absolutely.
Like, if we see XL open, okay, cool, but if the corner's playing tight on both of them, XL, unfortunately, we seen what you could do. It ain't.
But see, we've also seen him run by people. See, I'm also thinking because we've also seen him run by people. So I feel like you run Nalo on more deep crossers, and you can run XL on like deep goes. Like and I'm talking specifically about shot plays. And for everybody listening, wondering what I mean when I'm saying shot plays, I'm talking like where you take a shot downfield, a big play.
Oh, thank you.
What?
My apologies.
Jesus. Stand up straight, bro.
Sorry for that.
So that's let me see what you're talking about.
Nigga, we know what shot plays mean. Like
That was for the viewers.
Our viewers are like 40 plus.
Okay,
like,
cool.
They know.
Cool.
But actually, no, that was being responsible with your platform, bro. Good job. We need more of that. Good job.
Well, you already ruined it.
Shut the fuck up. Let me see what else. What else from OTAs? Do you have any other notes that you want to touch on? Because I saw you had a couple. I think you may have had more than me for real.
Let me see.
Just kind of rewinding back to the blueprint as well as the Inside the Draft Room article that came out. The Carolina Panthers were shopping that number 8 pick, which was abundantly clear. Dan Morgan made that abundantly clear throughout the process. In the blueprint, as well as that article, it talked about the Carolina Panthers having, quote, several deals on the table. The one that was probably catching the Carolina Panthers' attention the most was the one with the Los Angeles Rams. You saw in the blueprint, it came down to the wire. I think we probably had like 2.5 minutes left on the clock when the Rams called Brent back, let them know that they were out. And Dan Morgan came out and said, to be honest, I'm kind of happy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy because they let us get our guy in Nalo. So
yeah, and that's one of the notes that I had was like they really, really wanted Tet, and he threw out a crazy deal because he's like, if you're willing to take this deal, this is something so good that we have to take. Like, it would just be in the best interest of the franchise. Like, we would have to take this deal, but that's the reason I threw it out, because I really didn't want you to take it. And if you did, then I just felt like you're a dumbass, and I just got over on you. So that was one of the things that I had pointed out. And then something else. Give me 1 second.
And just to add context while you're looking for your next note, to add context to that, it has been reported by multiple sources that the Los Angeles Rams actually were after Tedero McMillan in that situation as well, which was very interesting to me, given the fact that they already have Puka and they already have Devontae Adams.
Could you imagine?
That would be
that would have been a crazy receiving core.
Yeah.
Because even when Devontae Adams is done, like,
you still have Nalo right there, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would have been a nasty receiving core, especially with Matt Stafford as the quarterback. The only other thing I was going to say was that the media just be trying to create controversy. Like, it was like a numerous of times that they were trying to make it a compare and contrast thing with Tet and XL, and that shit, it just pisses me off, honestly. That's the only thing I wanted to say. It was probably Dave Newton.
Yes, that's what I was about to tell you. That the questions that I heard geared specifically to Brad Isaac, the offensive coordinator, came from Dave Newton about, what Nalo offers that XL doesn't. Like, give it a break. The faster we get him out of Charlotte, the better life will be. I just can't stand hearing his fucking voice. And he's always trying to get controversy.
Yeah, because he's trying to get a story.
Yeah, that's what it is, bro. It's like, nigga, you're starving, nigga. Stand up. I can't stand him. But that's just me. Again, something else that I have to deal with internally.
And we're still on the pressers.
We're just kind of all around the notes.
Something that I thought was interesting about the pressers was Bryce's presser.
I didn't even get a chance to watch it.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and you guys said, like, he just seems different this offseason. He also sounds different, and you can tell that he's a lot more comfortable in the system just listening to the presser. And he was very excited about the addition of Tedero McMillan. He does believe in XL, but he's excited to have both of them now. He thinks it's going to unlock another level for this offense to get to, and he said that.
Speak up.
He said that additionally.
Not too high.
He said that additionally this offseason, like, they've been able to progress through their development plan a lot faster, being that it's Canales' second year. Everybody's a lot more comfortable in the system, and he was like, it's showing in their ability to kind of get through phase 1 and phase 2 a lot faster than they had in years past, and they're really starting to build and cook and unlock different levels to this offense. And he seems to be extremely excited for what this team could turn into, and you're seeing that number 1 rated player, Alabama swagger coming back out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you cut dirty bitches out of
Yeah,
your life too.
yeah. That's what
that's
I was
helping
gonna
as well.
leave with. Like,
Yeah, you probably weren't gonna say it like me.
yeah,
I'm
I
sure.
wasn't gonna say it
But
like
yeah.
that, but like I think that could be a direct reflection of that. So, kudos to him.
For being able to move on. If the bitch shows up. Unfortunately, and unfortunately, you were just the nigga she chose up on. It happens.
He got a year to bounce back and get that max. Still, won't be
It ain't gonna be
touching.
Tyrese Maxey.
Say,
It ain't gonna be
touching
Tyrese
that
Maxey.
NBA.
money.
Nah, it's not gonna be. Actually,
I'm about to say
don't
quarterbacks
know.
are getting paid.
I don't know. I mean, what did Brock just touch?
52, 53 annually.
270 something. Is that accurate total? Let's look.
No, because I thought Dak had like 260 something, right?
Yeah, but Dak's the
That
highest
shit
paid
was
annually.
before. Yeah, no.
Not
5 years,
overall.
265. 5 years, 265. And if
that's-
Bryce is on timing, if Bryce is on the last 10-week timing, the Carolina Panthers need to go ahead and gear up.
and
if he does
Tyrese
that
Maxey
for
is
an entire
204
year.
million.
Yeah, so.
So 5 years, 204.
And
So
that
yeah,
would
Bryce
just.
can.
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah,
please.
yeah.
Oh my God, Bryce,
Yeah.
please do it.
Yeah, for
please
sure.
do it.
For sure. I want the nigga to just go on his Instagram story and post some cryptic shit. Just so I know he on demon time.
You want him to post it in Cam's font?
Yes. Iconic saga, etc. Yeah, all of that. Yeah. Yes, 1 trillion %. But that's not him. You know, that's just not him. And I had to come to grips with that. Now that I'm comfortable accepting him for who he is, my life is a lot better.
How would you react? You sound like, never mind. Now that I can accept it. Happy Pride Month, y'all.
Wow. Nah, for sure.
What would you do if Bryce did post something on his Instagram story in Cam's font?
I mean, I would just be like, "Oh, he's here. He's ready." But that's all. I'm already getting that vibe. I mean, we've talked about the press conferences and stuff like that, and I didn't even get to watch the most recent one yet. But even before the draft and everything else, yeah, he seems like it's just a maturation of it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the biggest thing. Bro. Like, these niggas are younger than us.
Yeah, and I think it's
Like, you know?
valid too. And then the other thing was Dave Canales' presser. Dave Canales seems like he's got this shit under lock and key right now.
Yeah,
Everybody's
he seems
moving in
locked in.
lockstep. Like,
Yeah,
when I was listening to Dave, I was like, oh, all right, yeah. Like,
it's year
Dave is
2, bro.
not- yeah.
It's year 2. He
He's got
was
his
a rookie.
system.
He was a rookie coach last year.
He
First time
mentioned
ever.
that too. He
Yeah.
mentioned that too. And it's just, yeah, he was like, everybody's been here now. Everybody knows what to do. We're moving. He was
Yeah.
like, we're moving and we're working. And he was like, guys are buying in. And I believe him.
Yeah, I mean, and that's again, Brad Isaac talked about this a couple of times in his presser, just being a developmental organization. That's the stance and that's the approach that they're taking now. So you're bringing in a lot of guys, a lot of young guys that are still relatively green that you can mold the way that you want. You know, so that's why you'll see a decision made like a Jadeveon Clowney to go ahead and move on from the nigga. Because it's just like, unfortunately, we can't really mold you into the player that we want. You look at a Derek Brown, who did return, by the way. It was great to see him going through some drills. I will say, the nigga got a lot of work to do. Because them reps did not look the best. I'm not going to lie. Them reps didn't look the best. But it is shorts and T-shirts. So I'll go slow. But them reps that I saw, they weren't it. They weren't it.
Worse than Mason Graham?
Damn near. Damn near.
Well, that
But
might
I
be
digress.
alarming.
But I digress, nevertheless.
I think you got Cam.
But yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, another thing that stood out to me, and I don't know if this was in the article. All of this shit has, like, I've consumed all of this stuff over the last 36 hours. So a lot of it is, like, kind of running together. Literally, the Inside the Draft article, the pressers, blueprint. So all of this shit is running together. But one of the things that was said by Brent Tillis that was exciting for me personally because it just gives off the aura, so to speak, of us being out of this like, oh, yeah, we're still rebuilding. He was like, right now we're making sure that guys are fully aware, obviously paraphrasing, making sure that guys are fully aware that we are trying and building this roster to win now. Like all of that rebuilding, all of that being young, et cetera, like, yeah, sure, that's been the case for the past year and a half, 2 years, but now it's time to get money. And some of the moves, he was saying that in response to some of the moves that they made in the offseason as well as the draft. And I think that's huge, bro. I think that's huge because that plays off into not only this season, but we'll be around this same exact time next year, maybe, February, March, April, in that range. And the Carolina Panthers are going to have a shit ton of money to spend. And there's going to be some guys, there's going to be some difference makers that we'll be able to bring in and turn this bitch up.
Yeah, well, and I think by that time, you should be more of a complete football team because you got your quarterback, you went and got, your receiver at 8, you still got Excel, you shored up the offensive line, you took care of that. Now you got your corner. Now you got a few edge rushers that look promising. Now you still got to build that defensive side of the ball. And so whenever you are going to be able to go into next offseason, not trying to think about next offseason now, but just to speak on what you said, you'll have the money to kind of bring in some more maybe proven guys to kind of take all of this full circle.
Yeah. And all of that being said, I've been saying – and if I haven't said it in this forum or on this forum yet, I'll go ahead and say I still 100% confidently believe that the Carolina Panthers make the playoffs this year. 1,000%. Now, win the division, I don't know, because the Buccaneers, they're going to be a lot to handle. But that also let me know that they're thinking the same way I am in the organization. Like, nigga, all that play shit is over with. So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know that if I'm a little more angry this season, just understand why. Because the organization has already told me the expectations are what they are. Last year, the writing was on the wall, right? If you go back and listen to some of Canales' pressers and Dan Morgan as well, with some of the things that they were saying and the way they were moving last year, it was like, hey, this shit is going to take a little bit of time. We just want to get our feet under us. That was the tonality. This year, it's a lot different, and I'm hearing it every step of the way. My expectations are extremely high. The organization's expectations internally are extremely high. I'm not in the mood for bullshit this year. I'm going to go ahead and let niggas know. So if you're not comfortable with the profanity, if you're not comfortable with the raging out, whatever the case may be, I'm just warning niggas now. When September and October roll around, the tonality and the energy has been extremely high on this podcast, but it can get very, very hostile very, very quickly. So I'm just going to say that for the record. You had something to add to something Terrence was saying.
Yeah, and I don't want to start a whole new conversation because we're kind of running short on time here, but we got to pump the brakes on next year's offseason, talking about all the money that we're going to free up because we'll be going into year 4 of Bryce Young, and year 5 is typically when quarterbacks get paid.
We don't have to free up. That nigga has to go. Yeah, you're right. We have to. You're right. We do have to go slow, but that nigga has to come out and do his fucking job.
Which
and unfortunately, we do. But let's just go slow because the nigga still hasn't eclipsed 2,800 yards on the season.
Yeah, and let's also go slow on having a bunch of cap space because when he comes in and drops his fucking cock on the league this year and throws for 3-5 and
that's dropping your cock.
3-5 and 32 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, then is it not? I mean, you would fucking cream yourself if he had a season like that.
Maybe. If Chuba rushed for 1150 or 12 and Rico rushed for 750 or more, then yeah, maybe. Because 3-5 just doesn't seem in the modern NFL. It just doesn't seem like
modern NFL
it gets
is going
the
back
job
to running
done.
The ball though. So
yeah,
but
we'll talk about
cream
that.
Yourself. Be realistic.
Maybe. Actually, yeah, I probably would. It would be Reaper Tea every week. Actually, probably. So
That's sad.
the white ones specifically. That may have gone over their heads, but nevertheless, we'll move. We'll move.
Please move on.
We'll move. And now we spent too much time on it for them to just get it. Last point that I had, last note. this was actually something else that was very interesting from the Inside the Draft article. The Carolina Panthers only had 3 receivers outside of T-Mac in the top 2 rounds. So that kind of speaks more so to the sense of urgency, so to speak, to be comfortable to go get T-Mac at number 8 overall. Because if you know that you need a wide receiver coming into the draft and you only have 4 total in the first 2 rounds, yeah, you're probably going to want to go get the best guy. So that was something else that stood out to me on that article. And then finally, something else, a note from OTAs, was it seems like the secondary was turned up, and this is a conversation that I want to have, so don't push us on this one if you don't mind, Mr. Producer. But Damani Richardson, his name came up a time or two, very, very similar to the way that it did in training camp last year with him getting the 2 or 3 interceptions during training camp once he got his opportunity. And then Sean Smith-Wade, which is a name that, as you guys see, my co-host already is smirking because I'm sure he has some things that he'll want to say and elaborate on that. But my question to the cast is, do we feel as though this secondary, just based on what we've seen, do we feel as though this secondary is a little bit further along than we initially did 3 or 4 weeks ago?
No.
Okay.
I mean, what did you say? Don't feed into the propaganda.
Right.
These are the same names we had last year. Obviously, they could have gotten better. Hopefully, they did. That's what the offseason is for.
But you did. Hold on, because I don't want you to go speed past this. You did add a piece. Actually, you added 2 major pieces. You added Merring, and you added Ransom. So it's not really the same names. They're similar, but they're not the same names.
But I mean, those still are guys that are. Merring is a run stopping safety, so I don't think that necessarily helps the the secondary when it comes to playing the pass. Latham Ransom, he's a rookie. We don't really know what he's going to bring to the table as of yet. He's also a hard-hitting safety. So, like I was saying a couple weeks ago, I didn't like pairing those 2 together because it still doesn't address the needs that you have with defending the pass, especially when EJ wasn't letting JC travel or whatever the case it may be. All in all, you still have the same name. So, now I will say that by adding depth to the defensive line, you give the cornerbacks a little bit more time to, get adjusted. You speed the quarterback up a little bit on the opposing team, so that's something that's going to help them out. But I'm still not super comfortable having Mike Jack as cornerback 2 and having Damani Richardson potentially as the starting safety. That still doesn't make me feel comfortable. I'll still look at this secondary as weak.
Shaw Smith-Wade?
I mean, I think he'll be a guy that you can throw in every now and again, but I don't know if I want to see Shaw Smith-Wade every down.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll perceive that he would be playing nickel.
Yes.
Okay. Which, me personally, I'm comfortable with that. Because 3 or 4 months ago, I talked about Shaw Smith-Wade's development throughout the season. Because he was one of the rookies that I saw actually have a consistent path of growth, or pattern of growth, rather. A lot of these niggas, I personally just didn't see it. JT Sanders, he regressed, whether it was because of reps or whatever the case may be. Xavier Legette also regressed and never really seemed as though he progressed at all, to be quite frank, if we're just having an honest conversation. Trevin Wallace, we've had a good episode today. I haven't shitted on anybody. And I'm just going to continue that streak. I'm not going to make any comment. But if you're a returning viewer, you know my feelings on Trevin Wallace. We'll leave it there. Who else?
But, I mean, before you go further, I don't think it's that hard to have a standout plays here and there on a historically bad defense. It's kind of easy to point out, some good because you're just so used to being bogged down with bullshit. You want to dig in and find a little bit of good here and there. And I think Shaw Smith-Wade has some of that. But that still doesn't make me comfortable enough to put a 5'6" corner, what is he, 5'8"? 5'8", 160.
Somewhere in there, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. So still Julian Blackman or another piece. Or Julian Blackman plus another piece.
Yeah, that will make me comfortable to use those terms, but all in all, I'm not comfortable with the
Ramsey.
secondary.
The Dolphins said they were willing to deal.
Yeah, that would make me comfortable.
That would make me come, personally. On the other side of JC, and then you do whatever the fuck you want to do with Mike Jack. I mean, at that point, still a very very valuable asset to have. But, yeah, I'm just going to say it like that. That's just me personally. And I would be definitely saying, oh, my bad, divisional title, yes. We're going to go ahead and actually make our own 2025-2026 divisional championship shirts exclusively produced by FPFO. But I digress. That's how far I would jump out the window. I would actually go ahead, get them made,
Just
and
go
we'll
ahead
go ahead
and
and
stop.
start. And we'll actually go ahead and start accepting pre-orders on those shirts.
All that behind Jalen Ramsey?
Yes, 1,000%. Yes, yes. With the way this defensive line is set up, with the mediocre play that you have in the linebacker room and that secondary, Ramsey and JC, yes, nigga, yes. Yes, it would, because it's not just behind Ramsey. It's based on the feeling that I already have. I'm already like, little bit is already coming out, if you know what I mean. And that's why we don't make the blueprint for comments like that. So I apologize. All right, let's move on. So that's our take on OTAs, the blueprint, inside the draft, etc. We kind of just threw it all together. Hope you guys enjoyed that little piece. Let's see. Coach Bates. Let's go to Coach Bates. Because, the internet took off with this one. And he told y'all niggas to calm down. Like,
That's bro.
in that date. Yeah, that's bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's bro.
What he do?
You just be turned.
Nah,
I know who he is. I'm just saying, like, what he do specifically. Where we're.
Yeah, it wasn't just that. It was, he made a comment on Raw Room. Shout out to Raw Room. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the shit now, bro. Why are y'all weak? What is so funny? What's so funny? Raw Room? Kind of, yeah, just a little suspect, but
Just playing into the theme of all the bullshit you've been saying today. Like it.
Goes along so perfectly.
Okay, here goes the clip.
Some good players in that room, in that building. So
Nice.
looking forward to it. You know, we got these. I want to. Okay, actually, I can't say that.
Don't get caught up in here.
No, I wasn't no call. I was about to say some information that probably should be not. That's not known right now. So.
Exactly.
But yeah, man. Shout out to them boys, man. Shout out to the Panthers organization. Shout out to Dan Morgan, motherfucking Dan Morgan, getting that shit done.
Okay,
You
Dan.
hear me? You seen us in the off season?
Yeah. Making moves. Okay, Dan.
D line flooded.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah,
What was that?
a lot of people. Yeah, it was. It was. I'm not gonna lie. He said some crazy ass shit today too. He said some crazy ass shit. That nigga is a lunatic, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. He said some crazy ass shit today.
I gotta hear it.
But yeah, people started reading into the little 34-second clip that I just played, saying that he was about to potentially leak some information by mistake. He chose not to. And, of course, the names that Carolina Panthers fans immediately rushed to, Julian Blackmon and Jalen Ramsey. So, I don't know. Look into it if you want. Don't if you don't. I mean, we just have to talk about it because we are the culture.
I mean, that would be nice.
Either one of those guys, makes me drop probably $250 on the sports book for a Carolina Panthers NFC South championship. Either one.
God.
Either one.
On second listen, initial listen, I thought, like, yeah, he's definitely talking about bringing somebody in. But I'm starting to wonder now if it's, like, maybe it's somebody who's already in the building that they're just excited about.
I didn't get that at all.
Just
I
throwing
didn't get
another
that.
possibility out there.
I mean, it could be. He
Yeah,
could
I
be
mean,
talking about one of the rookies potentially starting. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I just personally didn't feel that way. That shit sounded like he was talking about somebody. outside of that room because he said, yeah, that room is turned. And then he went on along his conversation, and just the way it sounded, for me personally, it sounded like he was about to leak some shit by mistake. Like, yeah, we got this nigga on in our pocket. But again, we've heard that before. Who was it, Gilmore? That I was like hellbound that he was like locked up on last year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it never came.
Never came. Yeah, that was extremely unfortunate. But some good came out of it. Shout out Mike Jack. For whatever it's worth, I looked at your jersey for a while and just had to stop myself because 2-year deals no longer get it done for me personally. I've invested, I don't know, maybe close to 3 bands on jerseys over the last 2.5 years. So yeah, I just couldn't do it this go round. But maybe one day. Oh,
Together.
Let's see. Who would like to kick us off this week? Is the juice worth the squeeze?
I mean, I can go.
Go.
So plus 556. This is going to be OKC in Indiana. I have Tyrese Halliburton 2 made threes. Tyrese Halliburton 8 assists. OKC money line. Then I have the Edmonton Oilers beating the Florida Panthers. And then I have the Yankees beating the Guardians. Plus 556. Should be very simple, but we know how shit go.
Tavian, you're up.
All right, so I've got a plus 642 baseball ticket for y'all. I am not touching the NBA. The Knicks fucked that off, so I will not be touching that for the rest of the playoffs. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Pirates money line against the Houston Astros. Paul Skeens is on the mound. Lock it in. Going with the New York Yankees over the Cleveland Guardians. We've got, I believe, Rodon is on the mound for the Yankees that night. We're going to go ahead and lock that in. We've got the Boston Red Sox over the Los Angeles Angels with Brian Bello on the mound. Lock that in. And then I've got the Dodgers over the Mets with Clayton Kershaw on the mound. Go ahead and lock that in. Plus 642.
All right. Let's see. I'm building mine as we speak. If you guys didn't get that vibe.
Yeah, I mean, we know.
Miss.
Yeah, right, nigga. You're crazy.
How many
This
wins
is
do you have
very
this year?
simple. Huh?
How many wins do you have?
The same amount as you. So, I mean, there's only one nigga that can't say, that doesn't have a victory this year. And that's the defending
Only one
champ.
what?
Plus 532. This is mine, my personal one. Give me the Pacers to cover plus 9. Pascal Siakam to score 15 points. Shout out to the conference finals MVP. Very, very well deserved. Niggas want to suck Halliburton off, and it's cute. But Pascal, the team go as he go. So with those 15 points, he will have 2 made threes as well. Miles Turner to record 4 rebounds, and Isaiah Hartenstein to record 6 rebounds. Very, very simple. Plus 532. Lock it in. It's not that difficult to get it done. It's not. If they can't do that, then, it'll be a long, long, long series for the Indiana Pacers. And by long, I mean pause. But let's just say this shit could last 4, maybe 5 games max if niggas don't do what they need to do. Niggas being Pascal Siakam in particular. For Dylan, he sent me a ticket. All of these games are being played on June 3rd, plus 472. He's fighting desperately for his first victory of the year. Atlanta Braves money line. The ticket is clipped already.
432? I thought it had to be
472.
Oh.
472. Braves money line. Yankees money line. Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark. Very, very ballsy. And Florida Panthers to cover plus 1.5. That is his ticket.
Oh, that shit is clipped.
I think that potentially has 0 wins on the ticket. But shout out to Dylan, man. Shout out to Dylan. And I just love just talking shit like about Dylan's tickets, like just because like he's not here to defend himself. So like it just be funny because I know that he'd probably just be hearing this shit live in live time, just being like, nigga, what the fuck? But you know, nevertheless,
I think I might go in and put in the exact opposite of his ticket.
And you might hit. You might hit. Not gonna hold you. Respectfully, of course, because that is our defending champion.
Our 1 week.
Well, I mean,
But you know, hey, a
nevertheless,
win's a win.
yeah, like,
What they say.
yeah, I don't even know why in the fuck you added that 2 cents in there. He clipped y'all.
Just felt like throwing it in.
Shit.
Felt like the viewers
He
needed to know.
did something worse than you. That's right. You didn't even have a win.
Nah, that shit was embarrassing. That shit will never happen again.
Imagine being in this bitch for 2 seasons and having 1 win to show.
That's funny. It's not that damn funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that funny, to be honest.
2 years of fucking.
That's because, bro, we do that shit in advance, bro. We do it in advance, and it's like my victories be coming when I wake up and I feel good about the book. I feel good about the board.
You Trent times 2.
You crazy ass nigga. Don't ever fucking disrespect me like that, nigga. You crazy as fuck, nigga. If you haven't done so already, if you are listening and viewing,
Hey, hold up before you go there. Just so people understand who Trent is, if he posts something on Twitter, damn near everybody in the world just immediately bets the opposite.
and more times than not, they hit.
So
Shout out to Trent.
shout out to JJ.
Yes, if you made it this far in the episode and you're currently still watching and or listening, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn the bell notification on if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on a DSP or watching on a DSP, rank us, rate us, give us 5 stars or less. If you're not fucking with it, that's fine by me. I personally don't give a fuck. Just in full transparency. But, you know, drop us a rating, leave us a review, all of that good stuff. Drive us up in the algorithm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere else. So, appreciate y'all being here once again. Let's go directly to Fan Blitz. Where are we at on time?
We got 12 minutes.
Wow. Magical.
11.
Magical and masterful. Very, very quickly on this first one. Shout out to everybody that submitted a question last week as well as this week. So we will be answering some questions from last week and some questions from this week. Let me go on IG real quick and see if we have anything there from this week. No. Okay, perfect. Are y'all securing PSLs this season? If so, what section? Nope. Terrence never gets season tickets. I don't know why.
But I'll always be in the building.
Yeah, and he just ends up wasting so much more money than if he would just go ahead and knock it out. But that being said, I don't know. My section is 232, I think. Either 231 or 232. I don't know. I'm sorry. But yes, this is my 3rd season of PSLs.
Somebody told me those Bills tickets were already crazy just because we play them like once every 5 years or something like that. And there's a lot of Buffalo fans in North Carolina for whatever reason. I just feel like that'd be weird. But anyway, yeah, they say those tickets are already like north of 200 starting out.
So what are you going to do?
I mean,
that shit
pay whatever fucking ticket it is.
That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to get you to pop your shit on the podcast to let these niggas know that you having it.
I'm not. I'm broke.
See. But yes, Josh, we will. Shout out to Josh Howie, the winner of our rookie jersey giveaway, actually. So very fitting. Can we give him another round of applause since he is... No.
He did that shit on purpose.
Yeah, he did. Because he went directly to it. Yeah, he went directly to it. Yeah, you're right. He did that this time.
My fault, Josh. My fault. Still new back here behind the keys.
Let's see. Which wide receivers make the final roster? This is a good one. I'm interested. I want y'all to go first.
How many are we taking?
6. I believe 6. I think there's only one way that this goes, but I'm interested still.
XL, Tet, Jimmy Horn, Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfrow. I'm missing something. Jalen Coker.
And if Jalen Coker doesn't get his soft tissue injuries rights,
Try again.
I fucked that all the way up. I damn near gotta cut that shit. I damn near gotta cut that shit out. I'm not gonna hold you. I damn near gotta cut that shit out, bro. No cap. I'm not gonna hold you. I damn near gotta cut that shit out. No cap. I mean, damn. God damn. Nigga, I went all the way back to 1928 with the vocab. God damn.
That damn near might have been some of the worst shit I ever heard.
Shit. Jesus Christ, bro. Damn, bro. I am not illiterate. Yo. Oh, my God, bro. Jesus Christ. And that's what I get for getting ready to talk shit. That's exactly what I get, bro. And then this nigga, y'all niggas, y'all made that shit so much worse, bro. Y'all should just let that shit go, bro. Why y'all had to do that shit? Why y'all just couldn't let it go, bro? Damn. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and move on, bro. We're going to go on to the next question. Because obviously it's not meant for me to say that shit. It's not meant for me to say the shit that I was about to say. Oh, shit, bro. Oh, my God, nigga. Damn. That could have been a damn, never mind. Let me just keep that shit to myself. That was, oh, my God. Shit, boy.
I got tears coming out of my eyes.
Damn, bro.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Jesus.
We'll take a second.
Shit.
Damn.
So I'm gonna say to answer the question. I'm gonna agree with Terrence's exact selections. I do think those are the wide receivers that make it. I know we were talking about cutting Adam. Well, somebody was talking about cutting Adam.
Now it's that. Now it's that.
No,
So
somebody
niggas wasn't on the
cut.
podcast saying, "Oh, yeah, actually, bro, that does make sense." Niggas won't doing that.
But I just don't.
I don't know about all of that. I was just like,
See,
I don't really see the point in cut, like, because it's like what between Adam Thielen and David Moore, like, I mean, that's just not.
yeah. I mean, at this point, it's probably very, very unrealistic. So y'all won. Congratulations. Sure. Never mind. Yeah, I'm just gonna agree with it. I damn near don't even need to talk for the rest of the podcast. After that shit right there, that was just embarrassing.
What's B's the next question?
I don't know, massa. Oh, that's too far. That's too far. Mark that. Mark that. That's too far, bro. That's too far. Hurry up, bro. Hurry up. No, actually, I don't care. It's fine. I mean, if we get canceled for that, then I mean, shit, y'all just wasn't rocking with us at any point. What road games are we traveling to? This question came from, one second. Damn, what the fuck? Oh, D. Everett on X. Shout out to you. Appreciate the question. What away games y'all traveling to? We will be going to Jacksonville. We will be in the building for week 1. Guaranteed.
Yes.
Week 2, we will be in the building. Actually, the perfect time to plug the giveaway yet again. If you haven't done so already, go to forpanthersfansonly.com, click the giveaway tab, follow the steps, enter that, get a chance to win free game tickets, free round-trip flights, as well as a free hotel stay. So we will be in the building for week 2. Week 3, first home game, we will be there. Week 4, my co-host. Are you still going to New England? Is that still a thing?
I don't know. Possibly.
TBD. Outside of that, I am not 100% sure.
An Atlanta game.
Atlanta is going to be a guarantee. And then depending on what's at stake week 18 against Tampa Bay, I personally know for a fact, if that is for a divisional title, I will be in the building.
Did we say week 6?
Yeah. But he was
away
asking
game.
specifically about away games.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, damn near all of the home games, y'all will be able to catch me.
But sometimes we just tend to sporadically just go somewhere. unintentionally. So, I mean,
Very
I would
true.
say keep all of them open as an option, honestly.
No cap. Because honestly, I could very, very well see myself in New York. And because so many of y'all have asked,
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, actually.
it wouldn't be
Might
bad.
take
It's
along
like
for
an
that.
8-hour trip. I mean, it's an 8-hour road trip.
Oh, my God.
It's an $80. It's an $80 plane ticket.
He's in, yeah.
Yeah,
It's an $80 plane ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But shout out to him, though. Shout out to him.
You knew where that shit was at on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But you shot Josh up.
Nah, for real. But yeah, we will be in the building for a lot of these games.
And
I mean-
who the fuck is driving 8 hours?
I took the plane is $80.
I don't fly Frontier or Breeze or Velo or any of that other shit. So I don't know where you found an $80 flight to New York. I'm personally not going to be on that flight, but I will meet y'all there.
I'll be on the flight. Good. So you'll have a car for us to move around the city.
No, absolutely not. Because I'll pay the $250. If my niggas are saying they, so
I'm not riding with you to New York.
So you why?
I'm just not taking that long ass drive, bro.
It's not even that bad, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to do
That
it.
shit is a troop.
Yeah.
Nigga, we take 5 or 6 easy when we go to Atlanta. We've literally never caught a flight
I
to
wouldn't
Atlanta
say
for a road
easy.
game.
Yeah.
Nigga, you've never been with us, nigga. So how do you
To
know how
Atlanta?
easy we make it?
Yeah, he's been with us to Atlanta.
Oh yeah,
What are we talking about?
last April. My bad, I forgot. Relax, nigga. Pipe down.
Yeah,
When is Atlanta? Week 12 or 13?
I have no idea.
I don't know. But yeah, hey, we're on the road, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was telling Rod the other day, nigga, this is the time of the year, quarter 3.5 and 4, where I spend the most money because we be on road. We be on road. So damn near every home game, we're in the building. And a good portion of the away games this year, we will be in the building. We're gonna have to discuss Monday Night Football as well. But that's another conversation for another day. But I think that we can easily make that happen.
Monday night.
Monday Night Football, Week 12, San Francisco. At San Francisco.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because you know you get to get fanned out behind your boy. So
If we ain't playing for shit by that time, then
fuck no. We'll be playing for something.
okay.
I'm willing to put my life on the line.
Draft position.
If it gets to that point.
Bitch, we'll see y'all week 6. I don't even want to do too much talking with a Cowboys fan, to be honest. That's just me. Let me see. I think we had like one more. Okay, with all the talk about wide receivers, it feels the run game has been neglected media-wise. This was a 2-parter, so let me get there. What are your expectations for the running back room this season? For me personally, I'm expecting Chuba to go for 1050 or more. I won't specify touchdowns, and I'm expecting Rico to go for 675, if not, 700 or more. I think this will get close to a 1,800-yard rushing room, all in all, because I think Trevor will have an opportunity as well. Now, obviously, we hope his opportunities will be limited just based on the fact that you do have 2 1,000-yard receivers, and if he's getting more touches than 4 or 5 max a game, something has gone drastically wrong. Respectfully, of course. So, yeah, I don't know. Somewhere in that 1,650 to 1,800 range, I believe, is what the Carolina Panthers running back room is to be expected from that room. Me personally.
I don't have specific numbers, but I don't expect them to take a drop off from last year. Like, I know you got additional receivers. I know receivers are a year older, year more of experience, but I mean, I think you still go in the season relying on what kept you in a lot of football games, what won you a lot of football games. I think you stay right there where it's at. That's what you pay the offensive line for. That's what you paid Chuba for. That's what you brought Rico in for. So I think you stay right there. And you just know that we got weapons on the outside that can be utilized as well. But I like sticking with the run game.
Yeah,
Quick.
I kind of spoiled it earlier. I think what I say, about 12 from Chube, seven from Rico. I think that's a great season.
And on top of that, I will say, like, obviously, health is going to be, like, priority one.
And like 3 from, what's bro's name?
Trevor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Travis.
Never mind.
Who did you think he was saying?
No, I thought he was like 3 yards, but
Oh, no, 300.
Yeah, that 3 yards would make me lose my top, actually. 2 years in a row? Yeah. Angel Reese. It's like, she's dog shit.
yeah. Oh, are you going?
I mean, that's all I have to say.
Oh,
She's
okay.
dog shit. My 2-minute warning will come of just quite a couple of different things. Angel Reese's ass. Ryan Clark, if that's how you really felt, you should have stood on business. These niggas getting the cop and pleas very, very quickly. But
The RG3?
Yeah.
What did he say?
That's how I plead the fifth. Nigga, just go do your own research. That's all
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
I
say. If
looked at
that's-
the two back and forth, but you know, it's
Yeah.
your 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just stand on business. If that's what you're going to say and you're going to jump out the window, stand on business. I was just notified of a disposable vape ban coming very, very soon. Actually, this summer. If y'all want to help me fund, my addiction for the next couple of weeks / months, I will drop my Cash App, or you can send a super like and or super thanks and say for JJ's vape addiction, so I can go ahead and kind of get 10 or 15 of them bitches to wean myself off. What else? Parents, your kid is not Derek Jeter. Half these motherfuckers that's playing travel ball now are not living like that. I say that with all due respect. As a loving umpire, I'm just gonna say, set the expectation in the bar for your children low, because a lot of these niggas are not as nice as y'all think. Anything else that I need to get off my chest? No, I'm done. I'm good.
All right, I'll go ahead. Mine's gonna be very quick. Vin Allen Lubin. Fuck Vin Allen Lubin. If you don't know, he played at Carolina last year. He transferred to NC State after he said he was only entering he said that he was entering the transfer portal under the full expectation of returning back to UNC. And then not even like a couple weeks later, it had already been leaked that he was having chats with NC State. And then not even a couple weeks later, he goes and commits to NC State. Very nasty work. Actually, the first UNC player in history to directly leave UNC and then commit to a rivalry as in NC State or Duke. So don't wish anything good on his college career. I hope we beat the dog shit out of them when we play him. And I hope he don't even play at all. Because since you wanted to go and think that you could choose up or do better than UNC, the blue blood, to go to state, not going to happen.
I mean, it's not like he was, producing a significant amount for you guys last season anyway.
I mean, he was, towards the back end of the season, he was one of the better players we had. And that's not saying much, but he started on the bench. Like, he was a bench player, and then he turned into a starter. So it's like, he was producing. He was.
So he's a mark.
Yes.
Okay. Understood. It's already pulled up for you. This one is going to be long and drawn out.
Is it though? Is it though? Because every week I come up here and I really fight the urge to not turn this into a Cowboys 2-minute. And I'm going to reframe this week because the thing that saved it from being a Cowboys 2-minute this week was ECU fucking baseball. And just how bad they decide to fuck off. I mean, it's always something. It's something about ECU every time they rope me in. I always feel like it doesn't matter the sport either. It could be baseball. It could be basketball. It could be football. They always rope me the fuck in. They make me start believing in them. And just as soon as faith is restored, and I'll be like, maybe. Maybe I can support them. They go and get fucking blasted by a school that they probably shouldn't now.
They didn't get blasted.
Now.
They didn't get blasted. They gave up one measly fucking run.
This is just 2 minutes.
First of all, this is my 2 minutes. First of all.
I have a lot to say in return.
This is my 2 minutes, first of all. Second of all, Every fucking time. It doesn't matter. Like, Coastal Carolina, what you can say whatever the fuck you want to say about their program being whatever the fuck it is. I don't care, bro. It's Coastal Carolina. ECU is it's called East Carolina University. We're supposed to run the entire East. And the fact that we gotta lose to fucking Coastal, and then not only that, I gotta see us lose in football to App State. It's just always something with this fucking school and losing to teams that we should not be losing to, and it fucking pisses me off. And I'm so sick of ECU athletics. I'm so sick of them being fucking cheap, and I'm so sick of them being fucking sorry. That is my 2 minutes.
Coastal Carolina is on like a 20-game win streak right now.
That's fine. That's fine.
I just want to add context to this because this is why, like, sometimes you just let niggas get this shit off and then you just return fire with facts. So first and foremost, you should be clicking that yellow button on that soundboard for the job that Cliff Godwin and Co did, because actually they shouldn't even have won the AAC postseason tournament. They shouldn't even have had a bid to a regional. So that's number one. That was your first victory. Even getting some type of hardware with this weak-ass team this year was commendable.
Okay, let's
That's number one. That's number one. Number two, Coastal was ranked number 13 overall in the country. They've won like fucking 4 or 5 national championships over the last decade and a half. And again, they won 51 baseball games this year. So it's just like, yeah, sure. And on top of that, you walk into Coastal, right, being a team that shouldn't even be there, and you clip Florida twice. And don't just do it like just clip them. No, we drop dick in them. To even get to the regional championship, and then you have a true freshman go 7 2/3, allow 4 hits, 0 earned runs, and you lose by a sac fly in the 8th inning, and you only give up 1 run. Just go slow. Just be appreciative. And I'm so frustrated
moral of the story
with this.
is they fucking lose yet again. It continues the story of ECU never being quite fucking good enough to get the job done, even when they are the favorites, right? Because we've had seasons where we've hosted the regionals. And it still got fucking blasted in our shit. It doesn't fucking matter with this team.
Regionals too.
It doesn't fucking matter with this team. They always fuck off. They always fuck off when it matters the most. I don't care if it was by 1 or 100. It's the same fucking story with ECU time and time again. The only difference was this time they were fucking smiling because they didn't even belong there. That was the only fucking difference in my opinion. ECU athletics, fuck ECU athletics, and fuck the donors, not the donors, fuck the AD, fuck the AD that is like fucking off the programs and not funding them properly. Y'all want to hit us over the head for these student loans and all these fees to go pay for all these programs and shit, and y'all can't produce a motherfucking thing on the field. It pisses me off. I'm so sick of them.
Shout out my Uncle Cliff.
You quit to call someone your uncle, boy.
I'm just telling you. That's affiliation.
Now they better not go in to state week 1 and fucking lose.
Yeah, I'll be in
Now if they do that,
They're 14-point underdogs.
I don't give a fuck what they are. If we're not chanting purple and gold by the time that game is over, I'll have another 2-minute warning ready.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make that. Actually, no. I discovered how I will be able to make that. Because Breezy Bowl is literally that weekend in Atlanta. So, August 30th, I'll be in Atlanta. However, August 28th, I will be in, yes. Absolutely. And shout out Guys Fantasy Football League. Draft date TBD. Draft date TBD.
When are we going to figure out our position?
Them funds are about due. Them funds are about due. That's all I'm going to say.
You ain't getting shit till I get a draft date.
Valid.
That'll be no problem. We'll come up with a draft date. And
a
we will be
position.
selecting draft positioning on Juneteenth. Remember?
I'll be busy
Busy doing what?
celebrating Juneteenth.
It only takes 2 minutes. You just see what slots have been picked and then pick
Yeah.
one.
And your horse didn't do too well anyway. So it's like, nigga,
Pick at leftovers.
Yeah. Shout out to JJ, though. Shout out to my horse getting injured the day before and me being forced to pick between 3 additional horses and selecting the right one.
Hey, my horse did fairly well. He didn't do terrible. Came in 8th.
Oh, yeah, you're good. You're good.
Just
no
happened.
fucking way.
Yeah, you're good.
Mine came in 8th.
See,
Mine came in.
we have
He
some
came in something.
discrepancies. We have some discrepancies. Don't worry, there's nothing to pull it up.
I don't even remember who I picked.
Exactly. So how to?
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out before Juneteenth. Juneteenth is this month. Very, very excited. Somehow, some way, Pride Month got tied into,
Men's Mental Health Month.
Yep, as well as Juneteenth. But nevertheless, happy Pride Month, like my producer said.
Oh, I had Sandman. That's right. Yeah, he finished 7th. Sold myself short.
Well, what position are you going with?
On the draft?
Yeah,
I might go 16.
that would be outrageous, but okay.
No, I would never do that shit, bro.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm trying to go. I might go somewhere like 11 or 12.
If it's still around. What are you?
5. So I'm
Owen
going to have
Almighty?
my pick of the living.
That was your horse?
Yep.
Owen Almighty?
Yep. I think. I don't know. Maybe even higher than that. Maybe 6. What was 6? Who finished 6th?
All right. So East Avenue finished 8th, like I thought. Owen Almighty, is that who you had?
I think. I don't
He
know.
finished 5th. Burnham Square finished 6th. Sandman finished 7th.
I don't know. I had to pull it
And
up.
niggas talking about my horse ain't do good. Like, just be fucking.
I thought you had Citizen Bull.
Yeah, I had East Avenue, nigga.
No, not you, nigga, him.
No, nigga. No, nigga. no. Rap it. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. See, because niggas get the lying, bro, trying to put shit on my body, bro.
You know where he finished?
Huh?
You know where he
I'm assuming last or somewhere close enough.
15.
Yeah, hell no, nigga. See, you just
No, I know Trig Horse finished last.
Yeah. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Feel like it's been a phenomenal episode. Make sure to tune in with us again next week around the same time. If not the same exact time, we will be premiering live. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a live stream towards the end of this week, depending on the reports and things of that nature that come out of OTAs. And yeah, again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe before y'all leave this video. Turn the bell notification on as well, and we'll talk to y'all next week.